Now, the probe into this horrific Ahmedabad plane crash tragedy is picking up pace. The black box of the Air India AI-171 flight has been located. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, along with the emergency locator transmitter, they will begin their investigations, and the black box will reveal the real cause of the accident. The conversation that was taking place within the cockpit, between the cockpit and the ATC or the air traffic controller, every signal, every signature, every move inside the aircraft is recorded in the black box. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau team is collecting other evidence from the site. The investigation will receive a boost as there are technical teams from Boeing that are flying in, both from the United States, from Seattle, and also from the United Kingdom to assist this probe. Preliminary data indicates that the plane's landing gear, it retracted briefly after takeoff, but then was pushed down once again, likely a reaction to perhaps the unexpected loss of engine thrust. All of this, of course, raises multiple questions, and this is speculation at this stage. Was there a double engine failure? Was that the reason for the disaster, or were there other factors at play? So there are several reasons that are currently under investigation. One, a dual engine failure. It's extremely rare. It's happened usually. It's happened, if you recall, when that aircraft landed on the Hudson River, but that was when both the engines collapsed. The plane flew into a flock of birds and both the engines collapsed, but fortunately the pilot managed to land on the Hudson River. Incorrect flap setting. Now, it's being speculated by several aviation experts that flap should have been at level 5. It wasn't. Some argue it was retracted. There are others who say it's impossible to know from the only picture that's available whether the flaps were deployed properly or not, or were they set at an incorrect angle. Again, it's a matter of investigation. Did the landing gear not retract effectively? Now, there are some aviation experts and pilots who say the moment the aircraft lifts off at 50 feet, the pilot and the co-pilot, there's always check, recheck, counter-check, and when there's a positive liftoff, then the co-pilot is instructed then to retract the landing gear, and then the aircraft, rises. There's a positive rise after that. In this case, did it not happen effectively? Did that reduce the climb efficiency? Again, a matter of investigation. There are some experts who argue that there was performance miscalculation. Logs are indicating that aircraft used the full runway. That's unusual. It does indicate lack of sufficient thrust or perhaps speed, because usually it lifts off much earlier. Was there overloading or a misjudged weight and fuel ratio? Was that an issue that could have resulted in inadequate speed for lift, inadequate thrust for effective lift? Again, it's a matter for investigation. A potential bird hit, because for both engines of a powerful 787-8 to just lose thrust and power or propulsion, it would indicate complete loss of engine power. That reduces the plane's ability or to remain airborne. Was that a reason? It will again be investigations that may reveal the truth. There are some who say that high temperature and thinner air reduces the lift, during takeoff on extremely hot days. Could that have been a factor? But then do keep in mind the pilots were very experienced. 8,200 hours is what the captain of the flight had. Tremendous experience. Maintenance, was that an issue? That's again for investigators to find out. Let me also bring you this report from a simulator where pilots are trained to understand the challenges they face, because data seems to suggest that 65% of all aviation disasters take place either during takeoff or landing when it comes to commercial aircraft. That's when you have to be doubly sure and very, very careful. What went wrong on board this flight? We attempt to find out.
Told us that double engine failure is rare. Even if it happens and the flight has taken off, there are chances that they'll be able to glide it. We have seen it in a couple of movies. It has happened before, but unfortunately, what happened in Ahmedabad, it seems like many things went wrong, and seems like the pilots, they had no chance.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Basically, the pilots, as a pilot, we are trained to deal with any kind of situation. Single engine being one of them. It's a occurrence which can happen anytime. So pilots are basically trained to handle any kind of situation. But this situation which happened right here is which happened right after takeoff, probably just 200 feet above the ground. And both the engines seems to be dead, totally dead. Fuel starvation or bird strike, any reason can be there. But in this kind of situation, pilots had no choice but to let the aircraft put down straight ahead and pray to God, basically. So one of the things which I noticed in watching all the videos, right after takeoff, they did not put the landing gear up.
Which is the landing gear which you were showing us, where, if it is down, then we don't see the wheels. If it is up, then we see the wheels.
Yes.
So this is something which, we have seen in a lot of videos also. When they land, we see those wheels coming down, and then we see the wheels going up. So usually they do it.
Absolutely. So normally the procedure right after takeoff is the moment we get positive rate of climb, we put the landing gear up because we want the aircraft to reduce drag. In this case, the landing gear was not put up. Most probably the reason why they did it was they immediately sensed something is wrong. And they did not retracted the landing gear so that upon crash, the landing gear can take some impact and minimize the damage caused to the aircraft. So we are currently at Ahmedabad runway 23. So we are going to take off and we are going to simulate twin engine failure and kind of, see what actually could have happened. And you will yourself realize there's not a whole lot pilot could have done in this case.
You are saying that the situation that occurred, there was not much that the pilots could have done?
Yes, ma'am. Because although we are trained to handle single engine failures right on takeoff, but both engine failure is something which is extremely, extremely rare. And in this scenario, if the pilots had some height, they would have able to come down and glide and land back at the runway or some other safer airfield. Or if it was a single engine failure, then absolutely it was not a problem. They could have immediately come back and land. They could have flown for some time also. But as we said, in this case, there is nothing left in the hands of the pilots.
Aviation disasters are studied across the world because if it can impact passengers in India, it can have an impact anywhere in the world. And that is why aircraft accidents are studied very, very closely.